why you're afraid your partner will cheat, and what to do about it. Why can some people trust a loving partner, while others feel anxious whenever a text goes unanswered? A business trip comes up, or a new name appears on social media. The fear of being cheated on can feel like a warning system. Sometimes it responds to real evidence. Other times it reacts to an old wound, a painful belief about yourself, or a pattern that began before your current relationship. In this video, we will examine 5 common sources of this fear and what you can do without ignoring red flags or turning the relationship into an investigation. Fear is not proof, but it should not be dismissed automatically. If your partner lies, hides communications, breaks agreements, or changes stories, the problem may not be your insecurity. Trust requires trustworthy behavior. But when evidence is limited and your mind constantly creates the worst explanation, the fear itself may need attention. The first source is a past betrayal. If you were cheated on before, your brain may treat a new relationship as if the old danger is still active. A delayed reply can feel like the beginning of another betrayal. You may think, I missed the signs last time, so I can never relax again. Infidelity can damage a person's sense of safety, judgment, and self-worth. But one former partner's decision is no evidence that every future partner will make the same choice. Healing means learning from the past without putting a new person on trial for someone else's behavior. The second source is witnessing betrayal in someone else's life. Maybe one of your parents had an affair. Maybe you watched a close friend discover years of deception. Maybe your family repeated messages such as, all men cheat, women cannot be trusted, or always ends in humiliation. Young people often build rules from what they witness. They may conclude that closeness is dangerous and loyalty is temporary. Years later, they may want intimacy while keeping one foot near the exit. The third source is an insecure attachment pattern. Attachment does not mean childhood determines your destiny. Early experiences can influence what closeness, separation, and reassurance feel like. Stable care may make it easier to believe that love can continue through conflict or temporary distance. When care was unpredictable, warm one day and unavailable the next, a child may learn to monitor every emotional change. As an adult, that person may become highly sensitive to silence, distance, or uncertainty. Research links attachment anxiety with stronger jealousy and fear of rejection. This is not about blaming parents. Your nervous system may simply be using an old protection strategy that is no longer helpful. The fourth source may be projection. Sometimes a person who has cheated or crossed a boundary becomes more suspicious of a partner. The logic is simple. If I was capable of it, maybe they are too. This does not apply to everyone, and suspicion is not proof of guilt. But ask yourself, am I reacting to my partner's behavior, or to what I know about my own behavior? If you broke an agreement, the answer isn't greater control over your partner. It is taking responsibility and rebuilding integrity through consistent choices. The fifth source is low self-worth. You may think, they have not discovered how inadequate I am yet. When your partner meets attractive, successful, or confident people, you experience the situation as a competition you have already lost. Then reassurance never lasts. Your partner says, I love you. But your inner voice answers, for now. They choose you, but you remain convinced that someone better will appear. The deepest fear may not be, what if they cheat? It may be, what if their choice proves what I already believe about myself? Here is the surprising part. Freedom does not come from guaranteeing that nobody will betray you. No one can offer that guarantee. It comes from knowing that betrayal would hurt without erasing your value or your ability to rebuild. Secure trust is not blindness. It is the ability to love while staying connected to your judgment, boundaries, friends, responsibilities, and identity. So how do you work with this fear? Start by separating facts from stories. My partner arrived home 2 hours late and did not call is a fact. They are definitely having an affair is a conclusion. You may need a conversation, but you do not yet have a verdict. Next, define your agreements clearly. Many couples never discuss what counts as cheating. Is flirting through direct messages a violation? What about secret dating profiles, emotional intimacy with an ex, deleted conversations, or hidden friendships? Couples need honest, mutual rules. Communicate without turning fear into an accusation. Instead of saying, "I know you are cheating," try, "When our communication suddenly changes, I become anxious. I need honesty and consistency, and I want to understand what is happening." Pay attention to the response. A healthy partner may not agree with every fear, but should be willing to discuss reasonable concerns. Mocking, threatening, manipulating, or repeatedly making you question obvious facts is not healthy reassurance. Stop behaviors that provide temporary relief while strengthening anxiety. Repeatedly checking a phone, tracking a location, testing your partner, or searching social media for hours may calm you briefly and train your mind to demand more surveillance. Tomorrow, build a life larger than the relationship. Maintain friendships, develop skills, care for your health, protect your financial stability, and keep personal goals. This is not preparation for a breakup. It allows two adults to choose each other rather than depend on control. Consider professional help if fear affects your sleep, work, functioning, or behavior. Individual therapy can help troubling thoughts, emotions, and habits. Couples therapy may help after broken trust or when both partners need clearer agreements and safer communication. Remember, jealousy is an emotion, not a license. Fear does not justify intimidation, stalking, threats, or violence. Trust does not require you to ignore deception. The goal is not to never feel afraid. The goal is to recognize fear, examine reality carefully, communicate with dignity, and remain grounded in self-respect. Ask yourself, is my fear responding to present evidence, an old betrayal, learned family belief, an attachment wound, guilt about my choices, or a belief that I am not worthy of lasting love? Your answer may not solve everything today, but it can show you where the real work begins. Which of these 5 sources feels most familiar to you? Share your answer in the comments, and subscribe for more clear, practical conversation about trust, relationships, and emotional health in America. This video is for general education and is not a diagnosis or a substitute for care from a licensed mental health professional.